Here's just a few of the sights and discoveries that await you in this fascinating area of London. Looking east, away from the city, you can see an impressive feat of British engineering, the Thames Barrier. It's one of the largest movable flood barriers in the world, and it's been protecting London for more than 30 years.
The original design criteria was to protect against the 1 in 1,000 floods in the year 2030. So they used the data they had available and they projected that into the future. They built extra safety margins in, and it looks like we'll be okay till 2070. The barrier is composed of 10 gates, the largest of which are 2,300 tonnes. Approximately a third of an Eiffel Tower's worth of metal in each one, and they rotate into position. If you're walking along the south bank, if you can imagine another 3.5 metres of concrete obstructing your view, that's what the barrier protects against.
The Port of London has been a centre for trade since Roman times. By the 1800s it was the busiest port in the world, and a series of huge enclosed docks were built, surrounded by high walls, to protect cargo from thieves and pirates. The docks stretch from Tower Bridge to City Airport, and the Museum of London Docklands is preserving the history of this crucial trading hub.
The Romans first settled on the Thames, and obviously the Vikings came after the Romans, and all throughout history there's always been lots and lots of trade. There was loads and loads of piracy. In actual fact, there's a gibbet cage in the museum, and you wasn't executed in the gibbet cage. You was hung, and then you would have been cut down, and then you would have been put into the gibbet cage. And there was accounts of 45 bodies hanging right along the foreshore. So as the shipping were coming in, that was like a deterrent. You behave yourself, or otherwise this is going to happen to you. You can come to this area, and you can walk around, and you can see where all these things happen.
The East End docks have undergone major redevelopment in recent decades. Royal Victoria Dock is now home to Excel London, one of the largest exhibition centres in Europe. King George V Dock has become the grounds for City Airport. The Royal Albert Dock to the north of the airport is next for redevelopment.
Royal Albert Dock used to be the commercial centre for the British Empire, but now we're revitalising this whole area again. This is going to be an Asian business port. Companies from Asia will be able to set up their headquarters and trade into Europe. The city airport will allow business people to travel to and from European cities right here into Royal Albert Dock. Business leaders will be able to attend meetings in Paris and within 2 hours be back at their desks here in London. When this complex is finished, there will be 20,000 people employed in this area, and we'll be invigorating this area, we'll bring it alive again. It really is going to be very exciting.
Down below, the River Lee flows into the Thames on its northern bank, after rising near Luton more than 40 miles away. The lower River Lee Valley has a rich history of engineering innovation, with more industrial achievement for its small geographical size than anywhere else in the world.
The history of this area, of course, has been about entrepreneurs and innovators. It was a group of entrepreneurs who built the Royal Docks. The Lower Lee Valley is where Michael Faraday did his electrical experiments. And just across the way here is where Brunel built the biggest ship in the world, the Great Eastern. And this place, of course, for 150 years, drove the economy of this country.
The post-industrial revolution, the electronic technological revolution, began in the Lee Valley in 1904 by a man called Professor Ambrose Fleming, and he invented a thing called the diode valve. All the electronic gizmos we have today can be traced back to this device. The first jet airliner, the Comet, was built at Hatfield here in the Lee Valley. Thornley and Ferguson invented the first ever colour television. We had the Royal Small Arms factory at Enfield, and the Lee Enfield rifle was produced there. It wasn't Burton-on-Trent that made India Pale Ale. India Pale Ale was invented in London's Lee Valley by George Hodgson. So we've got a lot to thank